Okay, so hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Indian Racing Community's YouTube stream of ACC Season 9, Round 6. We are through halfway of the season and we are on with the second half, and we are starting with Hungaroring, a circuit that is notorious for overtaking. And this week it's going to be a double points format, which means that it's going to be an hour-long race, with the grid being set by a 15 minutes quali session. And the race is going to have one mandatory pit stop with mandatory refueling. So no matter what fuel you add, it's going to be a 25-second pit stop, and if you choose to change your tires, it's going to be 5 seconds additional. So yeah, the choice is with the drivers if you want to switch the tires or not. But yeah, that is the format that we have on board right now. And the quali has just started. Drivers are on the out lap, setting their laps up. So yeah, quali is going to be very crucial here. And before I get into that, let me introduce my co-commentator for the day, Charlotte Leclerc, aka Mother, who is joined with us today. Hello, Mother. How are you doing?
Hi, man. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, kind of under the weather, but yeah, can't be complaining much.
Yeah, this looks like a complete washout. Is the race also going to be like this?
Well, we do expect a very high chance of a wet session. There are possibilities for a dry session and a mixed session, but there is a very high chance for a wet session. That's the probabilities we have.
I don't understand what this happened. He was driving and he's in the...
I think it's some other car. Check that.
Okay, so in the beginning I noticed... this is the first time I'm noticing it. I don't know if you noticed it, but Propi's car was actually porpoising. I thought that was an F1 thing.
Well, I mean, the McLaren is known to be a little tricky with the suspension. It does bounce around a little bit more. So
What is going on here?
that is gonna be a point of reference to Stewart. Some might for sure. It was a bit of a callous pit exit. And let's go on with car number 22, Keepa Kanaku, coming around to say it's lap. That's 6.
Can we get the lap times?
Sure.
No, the lap time.
I think you're yet to see the lap time properly on board. So
Oh, okay, nobody has set it. Never mind.
We're still waiting for the time to come on board. Again, this is kind of a long out because of the rain session, and of course we have track limit issues as well. So I guess that explains why we are not seeing any times on the board. Right now, as you can see, the track map is just fully blues everywhere, which means Arian is not on a valid lap. So yeah, that is where we are on right now. The final corner and one representative time on board, and I think it's 151.4. So yeah, that seems to be the only time on board right now, and I think we have car number 22, which is basically FIFA Kanak, who is also on a lap. Let's see how he is doing.
What are the lap times like on this track? In the dry, I think they're around 42 to 45, right?
Yeah, they're around that window, and in the wets, with the current rain, which is kind of decreasing to be honest. So I guess whoever times it right might have a very good run at the quali. But as it's dipping, it will go to like 50s and 49s, I think. But in the medium rain race pace, the range was around 51 to 55. That was the race pace we expected. As the Kanak is rounding out the final corner.
Oh my.
And up ahead, a
Who is this?
is having a wiggly movement. And Kanak goes fastest with a 151.3. So a very good lap time.
Yeah, he was really wrestling that car around in the third sector. The rear was sliding every corner, I noticed. Now Tanish has stolen it away from Kanak. I don't know with what time is it? 151. 51.2.
Yep, he said
So
51.25.
Tanish currently the fastest.
Indeed.
We have 3 silver cars in the top 6. That which might change because a long time to go until quali finishes. But oh, that is a big slide from Moto. Barely keeps it on track. Coming round this penultimate corner, and he's loose again. He's set that car up very tricky. And will there be another one? No, he keeps the power on. And let's see what he can do. And he goes P4 with a 152.2. So a second off of Tanish. And we didn't notice it, but Propi has stolen pole again from Tanish.
Yep, and that is a
can we see the
lap
time
of 50.212.
50.2,
so, yeah.
That's 1 second faster than P2. That is a crazy lap time.
Yep, Dipanshu is not messing around.
Let him cook.
And you see Tanish is improving. He's up by 6 tenths on his previous lap. He's entering the third sector onto the penultimate corner. Let's see what kind of lines he takes. On the first gear, hops it inside, gets on the throttle, goes to exit. That's a little bit of correction, but still good, still gaining time. 7 tenths up on his previous lap. And final corner, he chooses to throttle it out. Gets out of it. And what kind of time is he on for? He sets a 150.572. So yeah, still a lot to catch up for with Dipanshu with a 3 tenths gap to the leader.
Yeah. And I was just looking at Moto again. I think somebody needs to tell him that you're supposed to stay off the curb because he's losing the rear of the car in every corner.
Yep, he does seem to be enjoying throwing the car sideways. He does like to do that. The Porsche by itself, it's a car that is pretty eccentric when it comes to its handling. So yeah, I guess he's having a time of his life so far, but in the practice session it didn't seem to be so. He was loathing about the fact that he's going to have to drive this circuit in a wet conditions. So I guess he's just making the most of it for his own, just having his own fun.
Yeah, it's just fun, this in the dry itself, this circuit is like difficult as it is. Now throw in rain and this condition of rain especially, and it becomes a even bigger challenge, especially on lap 1. We're going to see the carnage that is bound to happen at turn 1 if these are the conditions. So it's just on these drivers to stay out of it.
Yep, we have seen some very interesting incidents in this particular track turn 1. So that was something that was brought up in the briefing to be careful and not to continue the trend. So, but let's see what happens. As you're on with Tegiston, who is driving the Ford Mustang, the sole Mustang on the grid for the day. He's coming down the final sector, the penultimate corner, and he'll be 8 tenths up on his previous lap time, which might project him up to P3 or P4. But let's see what kind of exit he gets in the final corner. Chooses to go slightly wide, tries to take a bit of a V-line, use the rear to turn the car around. You see him just trying to get that car turn, the car just doesn't return around the rear to turn, and finally he gets it across the line and goes away.
This car is, it is at home right now. It is literally a boat in the corners. So, okay, stopping.
Abandoning his lap to get some more.
Oh no, he's making a gap. Yeah. Talking about the incidents that happen on this track in the lap 1, I hope they were briefed to, not drive backwards.
Yep, that is always conveyed to the drivers, but then again, a lot of things goes wrong in the heat of the moment. So we can only hope that calmer heads prevail. And if Panda goes slightly onto the grass, and that's his lap. Kind of messed up. Still seems to be up on the delta, but then again, his reference lap. There's not much to write home about. So, yeah.
Where do you see the delta?
Well, I am using some other tools to check it out.
Okay.
I'm first to a bit tricky stream. Maybe I can try it. You can have a look.
No, I thought you were seeing it on the car's dash. Let me see. Oh, okay. Race control.
Yep, a fantastic tool supporting for our streams. It's got some really good features to guide us through the whole streaming process. So it makes life a lot simple. Santa coming off the line, goes P7. talking about Dipanshu is having a very slim advantage, but he's going to come into some traffic and he slams into the car ahead. Some very poor situational awareness from that McLaren. I don't know who that car was, but yeah, that's his lap ruined kind of, because he seems to be having a slight advantage on that lap, but that is not anymore.
Who was that? I'm
not sure. It was one of the McLarens. I think it must have been. I'm not sure. I think it was Alonso because it was a cyan colored car, but I suppose I'm not sure. Anyway, back onto the track. We see Nick, who is up massively on his delta by 1.8. Seems to be finally hooking up a lap. I think he might be going up to the 10s and 11s. Let's see what kind of thing that he gets through here. Oh, the car goes sideways for a trip and he controls it and goes across the line and hops up 3 positions. Yeah, I think a lot more to do for him. Okay, so we do have another commentator joining us, and he has chosen to join with us today. Andy, how are you doing?
Hi Deepak, I'm doing great. Great to see some action on track here once again with the GT3 cars in the wet in the Hungaroring. Yeah, it's absolute pandemonium with some laps here. As we see this Porsche Panda just about round the final corner. Let's see how he takes it. And if he is up on his time at the moment, he is about up by about 8/10 of a second. Let's see what he does when he completes this lap, going all the way up. How many positions does he gain? Oh, he's up to 12. So that's a good lap from him.
Panda goes to PT with a 50.9, 7/10 of Dipanshu, who still seems to be setting the benchmark time. And yeah, I think right now is the time when we could see some track evolution a little bit, because the rain seems to be on a downwards trajectory. So whoever gets it right at the last moment does stand to gain a lot more time. As Robert Kanak, who is having a good healthy lead of half a second up on this lap, but still that's a lot of gap to cut out at Dipanshu. Probably he might go for a P2 front row start at the max.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there, and we can see the gap to pole right now is about 3.5 tenths. But you can see that the main advantage for the pole sitter right now in this case is in the final sector, where he's up by nearly 4 tenths just as compared to the next best time with P2. So he's on a 36 for the final sector, and a 31.1 is for the man in second with Tanish. So yeah, it's interesting. As you said, this is the part where the track will evolve the most with the rain going away. So it's the person who says the last lap would get the most benefit out of this, as we see FIFA Kanak coming across the line, and he improves to 3rd place, and his lap time. Do we have his lap time with us at the moment? His lap time
Kanak gets a 50.8, which is 6/10 off from Dipanshu's lap time. And
he's got a purple middle sector, right? I think.
No, I don't. Yeah, I think he did. He did get a purple.
Yeah, he did.
There's a Honda on the grid.
Yep, as he was talking about, Baba has chosen to join us back on the grid after a long time, long break. He's back, and he's chosen his trusty Honda NSX for the job. And yeah, he seemed to be trying his level best to get the grips of it, and he seems to be having a decent control over it, setting at 52.9, not too far off considering he just started it today. So decent effort to say the least.
If you think the Porsche is tricky, you should drive the Honda.
Indeed.
On the contrary, I tried the Honda around this circuit, and it's one of the cars I felt that was the most comfy for me. Coming from someone who's not driven GT3 in quite a while, I found the Honda to be the most maneuverable for me around the circuit. I don't know, maybe I'm just a bit different in terms of driving style, but I found the Honda to be quite apt for me. I mean, I tried driving the Porsche, it was absolutely not my cup of tea, but with the Honda, the lap time just seemed to come from me. Honestly, that is just my experience. What about you guys? Did you have a crack at it?
It's been a while since I've driven anything, to be fair, but from my last experience, the Honda is, I mean, by today's standard, it's a fairly outdated car. Hasn't been getting many updates from Honda. They've pretty much given up on it. But with BOP rules, it is still can be quite competitive, especially in the hands of a driver that likes, to have a loose rear end. They like to prefer to slide it around probably. That's why Babaji is enjoying to drive this car so much. But yeah, it is in comparison with the McLarens, Mercedes, and BMWs, I would say it is a bit off, but it's not that far off behind, say, the Astons and the Porsches, which is a good thing if you can, if you know, you can keep the car under you, don't let it get away from you. And
It's about being in control of that. But yeah, I mean, you're right. I do prefer a car that's a little more, tail happy in the
oh,
sense
we have
that
some racing going on here. I don't know what is going on. It's
he
Moto.
qualified. That's Moto. Oh, he turns around that McLaren. Who is that McLaren? B is not going to be happy with that.
Were they both on a lap?
I'm not sure. I think that was the case. It was a full scramble to get their laps on the board.
Yeah,
But
both were on a time lap. I think.
yeah, that was not good.
We just missed Tanish improving
Who
his
was
lap
that?
time.
Was that Dark Knight?
I'm not sure. It was a McLaren. Not much we were clear
It was an
about.
orange McLaren. So I think
Thing is, McLaren Dipanshu is winding up his final lap, and I don't think that there is any challenge.
he doesn't even need to at this point.
Yep. Tarnish came very close to challenging it, but he fell short by 0.015, and Dipanshu says that ain't good for me and extends his advantage a little bit more and separates it by a tenth. So yeah, very good performance, quality performance.
Oh, he improves even further.
The gap balloons between FIFA Kanak and Extreme by almost 7/10. You can see it's 7/10 till FIFA Kanak, and at Extreme it becomes 1.4 seconds. I mean, what is that change? Let me ask you one thing, Deepak. I want to know both your views on this. You guys must have driven this. You guys have driven GT3 a lot more than me. What do you think is the most challenging sector of this track, especially when it's in the wet?
Dry or wet, the second sector is the most trickiest one because the line is, you got to be inch perfect to get your lap times right. If you stay off the line a little bit, you're gonna have to be struggling a lot to compromise and build your composure back up again. Other sectors you could somewhat manage, but second sector is where I feel most of the lap time is.
Alright, we have some wind conditions.
That's absolutely right. In my experience as well, the second sector is where you can find tenths or even sometimes seconds if you're that far off the pace. The second sector, but I always found that the first sector, when you transition into the second, it's a little bit on the tougher side as soon as you finish the first sector, because you've got that high speed turn and then the next one just keeps going on and on and on and on. In a GT3 car, that's a pain. Charles, anything to say before we go ahead with our quali announcement?
I think I would like to agree with Deepak. Sector 2 is difficult, but for me personally, Sector 3 is those long, sweeping, slow corners, which it's like you are dying to get on the power. You have to exercise a lot of patience before you get on the power. Otherwise, you're just going to ruin your lap there in that one corner itself. And there is like 3 of those very slow corners in Sector 3.
Okay, so let's move to the quality results and the starting grid. You see Dipanshu, who is in the pole position with a very good quality performance, the 50.052, and Danish coming ever so close, but oh so close, couldn't just get there with a small gap of 1/10. Followed by Panda, who lines up in P3, in Tekis1 with the lone Ford Mustang in P4. Moto and Kanak lining up in P5 and P6. The Porsche was looking to have a strong result once again. And Extreme punching slightly above his weight and landing up as a top silver driver in P7, followed by Fuzzy Dunlop in P8, Yashu in P9, and AG Sam, who seems to be slightly out of position in P10, but then again it's tight gaps all throughout. And we have P11 Lightning McKean, and Star Max Lord lines up in P12, Babaji in 13th, Iceman Security, who is in P14, Supreme Kai in P15, Dark Knight in 16th, Sonic Sana in 17th, Nick in 18th, Fury lines up 19th, Sahiru is at 20th, Amon 21st, and Mayank Barya at 22, Ritesh at 23, Vicious at 24, and Ajax at 25. So yeah, I guess Real Fire did not set his lap time, so I guess he joined a little late, so I don't think he's gonna be starting from the last, so that's something you can have to bother with. We have Turbochuk and Lord Alonso also not setting their lap times. And please ignore my name, I was in the session for a while, so it just ordered my name too.
30 seconds.
So yeah, let's go on to the onboard traction action on track. We're gonna have a full formation lap, followed by which there's gonna be an hour of racing. with one mandatory stop as explained before. So, yep, the formation lap is about to get underway.
Yeah, that was a fantastic lap time from our pole position and pole position leader. So as Deepanshu leads us away, and it was quite close for a moment with our second place driver getting within 15 thousandths of him. So that was fantastic. But yeah, Deepanshu just managed to eke out his lead and say that yeah, I'm the top dog here. You're not getting anywhere close to me. But yeah, this is Hungaroring. This is the wet, and it is turn one. I don't need to elaborate on what can happen here as we see the BMW just slide out of their grid box as they begin their formation lap for an hour of racing in the wet here at Budapest.
There is a mandatory pit stop, right, Deepak?
Yes, there is one mandatory pit stop.
Okay, so
The particular number is that. Oh yes, there is.
yeah,
I
there
don't know
is.
why it was not showing up over there, but yeah, we do have a pit stop. Yeah, that was kind of scary, but as a coordinator for me, because I think it's already started and a lot of other annoying things. But yeah, gladly everything is fine. So, yeah.
Can we go on board a car that's like in the middle of the pack and see what the conditions are like for them? Like, I just want to see the spray, what it's like for them. Okay, this is quite bad. So at racing speed, he would just be seeing a white fog in front of him. He won't be able to see anything. The only thing he'll be spotting would be those flashing rain lights you see at the back, which is mandatory to have them on during wet weather. So visibility for the people at the back is going to be quite tricky. So I hope they can manage it into turn one and also the rest of the race without, taking someone out.
See, drivers are doing whatever they can to get some heat into those tires so that they don't get caught off guard at the starting phase. And you see, weather seems to be pretty straightforward. No changes for the next 30 minutes. Just gonna be showering down. So no weather curveballs as it is. But again, we have only 30 minutes of data with us. The next 30 minutes, what can happen, we don't know.
Yeah, the weather is never anything predictable, especially in racing. You don't know what will change at any time. As someone who's had some experience with how meteorology reports and everything is made, you cannot even trust those reports, very honestly speaking. And as we go on board the Porsche, the spray, as Charles has said, it's just infallibly bad at racing speeds. Yeah, oh my god, I think we saw a glimpse of what's going to happen into turn one there. So yeah, it is going to be
Luckily, there's ghosting in the formation.
very lucky, very lucky there. But we got a trailer of what's coming into turn one, and they're just trying to brake and get some temperature into those tires because they'll be starting the race, and they desperately want their tires to get up to into that window at the start. And yeah, over to you as we take the start.
The medic helicopter is ready, as you can see. They're lining up now for the start, side by side formation, although I don't know what is going on in like P7 and 8. There's quite a bit of bunching up, but yeah, green flag any moment now, and we're waiting for the lights.
Green light, give it all you can.
And it's green. Tanish gets a bit of a jump on Propi, but they are side by side going into turn one. The Mustang of Tegis1 also behind, trying to catch a move, but no, doesn't happen. Propi sends it into turn one, pushes Tanish off. There's a McLaren going off. The Mustang of Tegis1 into extreme, and they're both out. He comes back onto the track. Oh my god, that is carnage. There's one more car there.
Porsche
Panda
is
takes the
leading
lead
right
and
now.
Deepanshu tries to fight it out, pushing him around, but Panda just hanging on to the inside, trying to pull Deepanshu out, but Deepanshu is like, I don't care about that. Hangs on the outside, but that's a slippery part of the circuit. And Panda takes a lead out of nowhere while they're focused on the chaos behind, and Moto sends it from way far back and just bullies that BMW out of the way to get his position.
This is some proper racing. Turn one wasn't too bad, but it all started at turn two. There's a car number, who is at 42 or 49. He's way off in the back. I don't know what's happened to him.
You can essentially replay once the things kind of level up a little bit, but right now it's hot action in the wet track of Hungaroring. A lot of incidents, a lot of collision faults, and you see Tanish is just hitting that rear of that Porsche up ahead. Just cannot wait to get past it, but Moto is hanging on to it somehow. And yeah, I think it's going to be a very spicy incident up front.
Deepak, can we go on board Dipanshu and see how he's gonna react to losing lap 1 right now into the final turn?
He is trying to get it back into the penultimate corner, and he's trying to go around the outside into the final corner. There is a lot of punting.
And make that traction stick, and I think he might be able to get it because he's got the power down. But who has more power? Who will be first at the end of this turn? We just have to see. Someone will have to be braver on the brakes as they approach turn 1 in Hungaroring. Who's going to have a little more bravery? Who's going to win courage coming into turn 1? And he tries to stick it on the outside, but that's he's hit Panda again, and we've got Moto who's now going into the lead, if I'm not mistaken. Change of lead
that is
again into turn 1.
Panda. I don't know what he's doing, but he's not giving up anything today. And Tanish gets tapped by Propi, causing him to go and tap Panda again. So now Tanish and Panda, can he do it around the outside into this corner? Somehow he does, but no, he has. I think he'll has to give that back because of track limits. I don't know if he will.
Not, the most important point is that's one track warning put down. So yeah, that's one thing you have to be very careful about. There is a chance for a lot of DTs to happen. And behind there seems to be a massive incident which we didn't really see properly. There were some contacts and the cars are still struggling to get back on. So I'm not sure what actually happened there. They stuck there for a while. So yeah, probably a lot of stuff to review in the place. But as of now, the front, at least 10 cars, they are just hanging on to it. And it's probably not like going off circuit, but hang on to it right now. But I think he's side by side with another car. I think that was Dark Knight trying to jump for the position. He's hanging on the outside. This corner, what is he going to do? He's going to send it on the outside and cuts off the line. Behind we see another move done by AJ Sam on Lightning McKean. Used to be on the inside. But I think some more chaos all around the back. So yeah, there's a lot to be unpacked. I'm pretty sure the stewards are going to have a very, very busy day coming up.
We already have our first car into the pits, and who is that who's gone into the pits? I just did not notice there. But yeah, we have our first round of people coming into the pits as we speak. And right now in the lead still is Moto ahead of Tanish, ahead of Panda, who lost the lead after taking a very brave move into turn 1 in lap 1, and he made it through later on. But we've got a little bit of action going through here. People pushing each other off. We're looking at Dipanshu right now, who's moved down to 4th here, and we're looking once again at extremes. There's a lot of action going into this corner. It's usually because when you turn out and you're going into this little bit of a straight, you usually have higher speed than you want to, and you're closer to the other cars than you'd like to be. So you'll probably use a little bit more of the tarmac than you would probably be allowed to. But yeah, we see cars getting really close here now. See, out of this turn, you're gonna make a little bit of a divot, and you're gonna really push the gas pedal down to get on the power as quickly as possible. So that's where you see a lot of drivers, going off the track and consequentially getting some penalties, warnings, etc. The whole kind of familiar.
You see battles all over the circuit, and Dipanshu seems to be a complete change driver. The experience of the past year rounds has completely changed his output to his driving. He's more to be a very docile kind of a driver, but today we could see that gloves are off in lead. He's throwing down moves which are very untypical of Dipanshu's typical driving style, but so far it doesn't seem to be yielding results. But I'm pretty sure he's still going to be just fighting it down and just sending it whenever he gets a chance. Meanwhile, up ahead, Tanish put the fastest lap, and he's stretching his gap to 1.6 seconds to the car up front. So yeah, these guys fighting is just helping Moto and Tanish just run away just a little bit. Meanwhile, Tanish, as we see, he is on the attack on Moto, looking for any kind of weakness.
Yup. They're just going into a league of their own at the moment with their lap times. And it's very clearly visible as we are on board right now. A few drivers at the back of the pack, as there's action all across. And now coming into turn one, we're on board with Supreme. Can he be a little bit brave? Make a move. He's got to move of the pack. He's 22nd, but he's still got 53 minutes of the race to go. No can do. You can carry a little more speed into that corner, and yes, you will have taken that position. So Supreme guy is up one place, but he's got a long way to go in this race. And not to worry, he's got time on his side, and if he keeps doing this, keeps punching out good laps, he'll get into the right positions at the moment. So that's good driving from him as we're on board Peacock Kanak, who's behind our Porsche in Panda, who has slipped down from the lead into the clutches of 5th place. So what can be done right now? He's just falling. He's falling like a stone. And can there be a Porsche v Porsche battle at the moment as we speak, coming out of the penultimate corner here? Because as we saw a lot of action through there, and now here a little bit of touching and one car goes off. Who's that?
That was Fury who had the unfortunate spin, the Mustang just catching it off guard at the middle of the corner. So yeah, not helping him. And you see Star Max trying to make a move through the penultimate corner, now goes to the final corner and hangs it round the outside of Dark Knight, who has the better line through, but Star Max is going to have the weak line through, which means that he's going to have a better straight line through here. But then again, Dark Knight does have the slipstream, but let's see how this is going to crumble, because I do think Star Max is about to do a send on this car.
Yeah, this turn really has two ways of going it. Either you send it or you're very consistent with it, and he tries to be a balance of both, but he can't do either as he just goes off the track. He loses all the traction he had. I'm confident if he kept it on the track, he might have made up at least one place. But yeah, you take enough risks, you eventually lose all of your traction. In this case, in the wet, you have to be very careful in the Hungaroring. Personally, even when I was running laps, even in the dry, I would go off track a little bit and it would just ruin the entire lap. So be very careful in what is Monaco without balls.
Kanak finally gets the move on Panda. This time Panda leaving enough room. At the beginning of the race he was leaving no prisoners, pushing everyone off track and channeling his inner Verstappen at that point with Propi and Tanish. But now he's being a bit more cautious. As we see, who is this Extreme on the back of Lightning McKing looking for a move. Extreme was the lead silver car. I don't know what's happened to him, but now he's fighting his way back up and he's made the move of stick through the sector 3 on Lightning McKing. I always say Lightning McQueen.
Well, that is a name that we are quite used to, so it is a little tricky for us to say it. But seems to be having some more fight. Baba seems to have gotten ahead of Panda, so I guess we missed that trying to look at what the league is going on. So Panda seems to be dropping down a lot more now.
I think Panda's car might be damaged after all that battling with Propi and Tanya. It doesn't look like he has the pace anymore. I don't know what's happened to him, or has he cooked his tires already? It's been only 10 minutes.
I'm not sure.
I highly doubt that's the case.
Slightly wide, which means Panda is having an attack on through this corner, but it's going to be on the outside line. Does he have enough purchase to go around the outside? While Baba trying to hang around and just holds it, just slightly pushing Panda out wide, and Baba hangs on. Not bad for a first place after a long time ago.
In the Honda, that too.
And there is some more action happening up for the lead of the race. Tanish making a lead pass out Moto and Dipanshu slipping an opportunity there, but is slightly off-settled by all this that has happened. Will Dipanshu go for another dive to stay back, but he is awfully close to that Moto.
This top 3 in this battle.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. The top 3 in this battle are especially close. Like the top 3 are separated by less than a second now. So I hope this goes on till the end of the race. The lead has been changed 4 or 5 times now in the past 10 minutes. So there's some pretty incredible racing that we're seeing. I think soon Kanak and Babaji might join this battle.
Baba
but
and
no.
Panda are still going hammer and tongs at each other, swapping positions all over the place. Baba goes slightly sideways, opening up for an attack from Yashu, but hangs and maintains the composure and just holds on. But yeah, these guys are putting up an absolute show here.
The top three, I think, they're not that far ahead. It should become the top four now if Kanak catches, but these three are on another level, and Tanish has checked out a small gap, which will give him a bit of breathing room from Moto and make Moto think about the car behind, which is Propi, and what Propi is planning to do into the next corners. So Propi right now on the back bumper thinking of a move, but he doesn't. He knows he can't do anything there. So he's just going to stick behind and wait for Moto to make some mistakes. As we see, second time around dive bomb, but Mayank again turns into Ashray, but this time Ashray was far enough ahead to keep control of his car. And we see Tegis 1 on the back of Dark Knight. Can we make it a clean overtake this time? Because last time when it was a McLaren, one of them ended up spinning out. Never mind, he can. He did it, and now he's going to be chasing down Ashray.
Yep, has to clear Mike Paria, and then comes Ashray. These guys are still hanging on to this. Tanish is slightly on the edge of a 1 second gap. He's teetering on the edge of a 1 second. TRS range, we might say, but we don't have any TRS assistance here. It's all about the drivers and all about how they handle the pressure situations. So yeah, and Tanish is known to be a bit of a crumbler under pressure. The Pancho seems to be having so much control under brakes, closing up so much onto Moto, almost looking like he was going to take him out for a spin, but managed to get his car stopped right at the time. We see what kind of line he takes in the final corner.
Propi also right now the fastest driver on track. His fastest lap is a 50.8. Meanwhile, the second fastest is a 51.2. So he is. Oh, I think Moto made a mistake and.
He could have been going wide. I'm not sure if he was just letting him through or was it a manner of mistake. But whatever it is, P2 is swapped around, and now it's Dipanshu who is on the chase after Tanish. And like he said, he is the fastest driver on the track. So yeah, I mean Tanish is also fast, but unfortunately that was a tracker, so it doesn't count as a valid lap. Tanish seems to be having 2 tenths advantage in the fastest lap right now, but it was valid. Yeah, but seems to be very good pace from the top 3. Lining up for a good finish coming up.
Yeah, so the top 2, Propi looking to be around 2 tenths to half a second faster than Tanish, so it should be only a matter of time if he doesn't make any mistakes that we get a battle for the lead again. We are on board right now. Turbochuk, who seems to be under attack from the 49 of who is this? AJ Sam, one of our OG endurance drivers, is in the grass waiting for a good spot to rejoin. Does it safely, and I hope he doesn't have a damage, but he'll be right now kicking himself because that is not a mistake that he can afford.
He's having a peek on the inside, just unsettling the McLaren. But again, he's got to be careful. The car ahead might be slow through the section, and he doesn't want to repeat of what happened in the earlier laps. So yeah, you can literally see how he's had to modulate the throttle in the middle of the corner to make sure he's able to put the car up front. That's what the base sector is dusty. The second sector is impossible to pass unless the car ahead makes mistake goes off the right.
He's right there on the bumper. He's thinking of it. Is he going to do it? No. He sends it half-heartedly. Mayank leaves him the room, but still Mayank managed to keep ahead. Sector 3 is where this Mustang, it struggles. It's long sweeping corners like these. It struggles, but on the straight it would eat up any other car. But this corner is, this track unfortunately isn't much straight. It's mostly corners. So he will have to pull off something of a miracle to make a move in Sector 3. But on the straight, as I said, the McLaren is defenseless. There is nothing I can do, even against a damaged Mustang. Even before the braking zone, Tegis 1 has passed him quite easily. And now he will be looking to get on the back of AJ Sam after AJ Sam's mistake that he made.
Sahil is on a keyboard and mouse chasing after Vicious, who I think is on a controller. He said he was stuck between a controller and the wheel depending on the availability. So yeah, a battle of alternate controller inputs going on.
I don't know, his livery reminds me of the the galaxy brain meme.
It does very much remind me of the kind of liveries that a road washing for the Nirma used to run, with some very bright colors and very eccentric design, to say the least. So yeah,
Wasn't Nirma the meme livery?
I mean, we
With
did
like
make a lot
SB's
of
face on it.
liveries. Yes. That's one factor you're definitely missing. Some good, funny liveries. And meanwhile, Vicious let's go slightly off the line, and Zahiru smells a move, but it's not happening right now. Just hangs on, but Vicious once again goes onto the curb, cannot accelerate, which means that Zahiru gets free pass through there.
And that, my friends, is a keyboard warrior fighting against controllers. As someone who's come from that and still races a lot of stuff on keyboard, unapologetically, that's a good move from him. And yeah, it's definitely showing that you've got some limitation, sure, when you're on keyboard, but you can race. That was good. As we're on board now with Somic, and you've
Hey
got
yo,
two
what is this? Sister
emotes.
cars?
It does look
We've
like
got
they're
a
running
Torroso
identical team
fish
liveries,
here.
and both BMW seem to be running some kind of damage on the cars. You can see that the BMW Fury seems to have some very heavy front damage. So yeah, Minion Somic's car looks to be intact, so he must have a good advantage. I think so.
So let's see what they do coming on to the straight. But now on board Dark Knight, who behind Mayank, coming into this turn. We'll have a look at how they can get close, because this is a part where you actually can overtake if you're close enough, but you are not close enough here, so you can't. And Sector 2 is pretty hard to overtake, as we saw. Somic was not able to make any move or any headway into Fury whatsoever, and his exit was fairly poor out of turn 1 as well. So nothing doing. He's not close enough for any move. What's going on with our leaders, Deepak? Can we have a look?
Leader seems to be coming up to blue flag traffic, which is going to be absolutely critical that they're going to catch up to the traffic. Typically, our rule for blue flag is that the drivers have to drive their own line and basically don't be.
Never mind then.
But yeah, in that case, the driver chose to stay out, because again, that is one of the instructions we passed on, because this track is notoriously difficult to pass on. So we just said if it is safe to do so, just stay off the racing line and let the cars choose to do what that car was doing. So good on him. Not causing a lot of blockages through there.
And he lets Moto past as well. Very good. I mean, there's nothing for him to lose here. He's already.
Honestly, at this point,
far behind.
there's nothing for him to gain by even fighting these guys. So yeah, man, the sister BMW cars are still going at each other. Although Sami Sani's place in AM class seems to be having a good string of results, and from my personal experience, does have very good racecraft, does not flinch when you throw any kind of dummy move. So yeah, I think he is looking primed to beat the move done.
For all the viewers wondering, it's just because somebody might be and he gets a DT somehow. Oh, does Dark Knight into the wall through his own volition? I don't know why he
there was
decided
some
to do
battle
that.
going on between Mayank and Dark Knight, and suddenly I think that happened. Kind of missed it, I guess.
It looks like it's going to be war at WRT with both the WRT cars battling it out on the straight, even the Vipers moving in unison. But it doesn't look like Somic has chance of a move
Or
here.
maybe
But
he
wait,
has.
what? Where did the other one disappear?
He went off the line. I think he went deep on the brakes, and that means Somic has a free move sorted.
The car just disappeared for me. But yeah. Yeah, as I was saying, who was the person who was giving way? Was it Lord Alonso?
I
think it
so.
was.
I think so.
Yeah, so this is a endurance race compared to the rest of the races, right? It's like a 1 hour race, so as we can see, Ashray getting quite an easy move on. Who is this? Lightning McKing.
Lightning McKing. He is is hot on the tails. He is close by. Up ahead we have Moto and FIFA Kanak going at it. The Porsche duo fighting it out with each other through turn 1. Kanak having a slight run on the outside with Moto hanging from. And what Moto squeezing him all the way to the outside, just plotting with danger over there. But all it takes is one slight contact and it's curtains for both of them. And yeah, Baba's the second driver to get the DC for the day. So So yeah, that is something we have to look out for. It can be a real bummer as it goes on. But right now Baba has DT and he has to cover this in the next lap.
Yeah, track limits in the dry itself very treacherous. May add in wet conditions and it almost guarantees you a DT if you're not careful. So yeah, two drivers so far have gotten DTs and we're not even halfway through the race. So let's see how clean these guys can keep it. Is there any way of us to be able to see warning?
But I'm not sure we do have the facilities for that. But yeah, we just have to assume that the drivers are all keeping it clean until we see any of those DTs popping up. The rear view from like McKean, Dagestan is menacingly close with that Mustang appearing ever so close to the rear ring of this Tarun. So yeah.
He is filling up his mirror. He looks in the mirror and all he sees is Mustang and headlights. So and he makes a mistake. Oh, he decides to let him go because he knows the fight is not with him. He would rather live to fight another day with the. You can't park there, sir.
Indeed, there's a car stranded outside. I'm not sure what's going on. He still stopped. Wonder if it's some technical issues or whatever. But yeah, seems to be curtains for him.
I think that's the end of the race.
Yeah, I think he's calling it quits. His last. Yeah.
Panda
I think he's
Babaji comes into the pits. Babaji serving his DT. Panda coming in for his stop. They are almost close to the halfway point. It's 37 minutes. So this is probably the time when drivers might just come in for stop of fuel, because half and half seems to be the strategy of choice. Fill up half the tank at the start and then halfway point of the race come and fill the remaining half and carry on. But let's see how it happens.
I think Panda has made a good decision here because, look at the track map. It looks like he's going to come out in some clean air where he can set down, put down some very fast lap times and maybe try the undercut on the top 3 or top 4 actually. Although I think the top 2 are a bit too far ahead. So maybe he can go on to the podium if he plays his cards right.
Yep, again there's a long race and as we just saw, DTs are going to be an important factor coming through. They have always played a bit of a spoiling hand in the past, so that is something I have to look out for. The Panda still stopped. I'm not sure what's going on.
The stop time is 30 seconds, right?
25 seconds if you're not changing tires, and I guess probably he's repairing some damage.
Oh yeah, he did have quite a bit of damage after the first lap tussles with Panda and Tanish. I mean, sorry, Propi and Tanish.
Yep, the lap he had approx 3 to 4 tenths off on most of his laps. So I guess remedying that damage would be good at this point, because as you said, we're just about approaching the halfway point of this race and there's still quite some time to go.
He needs to get ahead of these guys to get clear of the traffic, and looks like he does. So the next car ahead is the 106 of Sahiru, which is quite a bit ahead. No, I'm talking about the on track.
Alright. But yeah, it's as Charles said, it's key that here you're pitted out into clean air, because if you're into traffic, you are going to lose that lap. You're definitely not going to make any headway, and you definitely don't want to be pitted out into traffic in this lap, because it is an absolute atrocity to get clear of that traffic until probably the end of the lap, because there is no logical opportunity to even overtake in the middle unless you're treacherously taking some dangerous moves which you really don't want to, especially if you're on the razor edge. As we go on board Dark Knight here, can he do something on Mayank this time? He gets close, he keeps his foot on the floor, tries to get the power down here. Will he try something into 2? Can he make any headway? No, he's got a little bit too much distance here. But yeah, that's nothing to be done as we're on board the
have a yellow on his name. Not sure what happened. I think he might have had a contact with someone or spun out or something. He seems to have dropped down a little.
He's behind Tahir in the McLaren right now. So something seems to have happened as Mayank goes off the track. So I think he spun out there, going on to the curb. If I'm not mistaken, that's what.
Yeah, like. The AstroTurf is really treacherous there if you get on power.
Let's have a look what happened. I think it did not go back far enough.
Just click the -15.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
was minus 15. I think tension happened a little further behind that. We're not having a picture on that. And I think Dipanshu has chosen to go into the pits right now. And I think he's trying to pit stop, or is he going for a stop? I think he's going for a stop right now. So yeah, this stop and his exit, his outlap will be very crucial because he had a gap of 1 second to Tarnish. And free air, how much he's going to make it, that's something you're going to have to be watching out for.
absolutely. And just as a reminder to those who tuned in, this race will have one mandatory pit stop. You need to make one pit stop in this race. And as we said earlier, the ideal strategy is you take half fuel in and you fuel it later at your pit stop as well. So you can get a good start as well as, and later you can get it more fuel in the pit stop, so that offset will be saved. As we see here, Extreme in the Lamborghini comes in, and we have that Dipanshu. I think Dipanshu exiting the pit lane. Where will he exit? Will he be ahead of Fuzzy here? He will not ahead of Fuzzy here. But yeah,
No.
he has a little bit of, I think, how much of a delta does he have? Let's see. To the drivers ahead, he has about 5.5 seconds to Dark Knight. So he will have a little bit of clean air as he goes, which is important because you don't want to lose the lap time there.
Panda has actually lost quite a bit of time. Was he this far back behind
So he
Propi
had,
when he pitted?
he had a bit of a slow stop and he had some yellows. I guess he spun around or something. So yeah, he did lose a lot of time.
Okay, that explains it.
Dropped down to 19th. He was 16th a few laps earlier, I recall.
Yep.
So yeah, he seems to have had a bad second stint. Is it damaged, or is it, as you said, he might have spun out? We don't know. It could have been a combination of two. Maybe some damage you can't fix, combined with him spinning out, has kind of really turned around his luck entirely in the start of the race. As we are on.
Joins a list of drive-through penalties. So yeah, it is the latest victim for track limits.
Yeah, very treacherous here in the wet as well as in the dry. You need to be very clear of your limits here, because it's very easy to go over them, because it's actually beneficial here. Into turn 1 you might try to test the limit, not a lot, but mostly it's into the end of sector 1 you'll test track limits a lot. Sector 2 is just testing track limits all the time. In sector 3 it's not a lot as you get into the penultimate turn, but yeah, you will be given plenty of attempts to be lured into that testing of your track limits. But yeah, a lot of people have tried it, and you don't want to get a drive through here, as Dark Knight has, so he'll have to serve it within the next 2 laps right now as he crosses the line, if I'm not mistaken.
Can I just say, Yashu 2203, the livery on that car is absolutely stunning. That is one of the best liveries on the grid I've seen, and it doesn't even look to be a custom livery. It looks to be a classic, made with the in-game editor. It's a very nice looking retro livery with the red and white. Man, this is just beautiful.
Oh yeah, with the stripes and everything, it's ethereal looking at it, honestly. That's fantastic.
And the white wheels too, that is just gorgeous. Yeah, anyways.
Yeah, sometimes less is better.
Yeah. And here we have Dark Knight, the Google Chrome livery. And this is just a constant thing. It is Dark Knight in a damaged McLaren. That is something that you never fail to see at any race.
He does seem to be down on luck at times, getting caught up in a lot of incidents, or just getting.
I don't think is at times. It is all the time. Can you tell me one race where he has survived till the end? Anyway, that he seems to be the Hulkenberg, but in terms of damage here. But yeah, as you see, Yashu pitted
behind Saumik and he's flashing aggressively, just saying get out of the way, let me just go ahead. That Saumik, like you said, he does not budge, he just stays and he just hangs on. He sends it on the inside and gets a position done through there. So yeah, that's a move done, and he is free to chase after the next car, which is Mike Baria, further up the circuit.
Saumik replying to the flashing lights. I don't have to do that. You have to pass me on track. And yeah, he does it. As we see Yashu coming out of the pits, and soon after we should see Babaji also leaving. Dark Knight has entered the pits. It's finally a time to repair some of that damage.
Qualified. Fury's got a drive-through. I don't know if that. I think that's new. Fury's got a drive-through.
Yep. That's another DT coming our way today, folks. So yeah, we are almost halfway through in, and we almost got like what 4 DT so far.
5
yeah.
DT so far. I think. Yeah, 5.
That's bad.
Yeah.
Moto really extending his first stint. He's 28 minutes left and he's still not pitted. What about Tanish? I think the top 5 they've all pitted, right?
Yep, Tanish has boxed, and as you can see right now, Tanish has dropped behind Kanak and Dipanshu. So probably I guess he had some mistakes on his in laps or whatever, but he dropped 2 positions after the pit stop, because if you remember before the pit stop, Dipanshu was trailing Tanish by 1 second.
Yeah, so I guess Dipanshu's made the undercut work maybe.
That looks to be the case.
This is a track where you can genuinely make the undercut. The undercut is very powerful on this track as compared to the overcut, especially in the conditions like this. You really don't want to extend long, because the lap times will just tumble. If you don't have the grip on this track, sector 2 and sector 3 will be your crucifixion. As you see a little bit of action going into there, and that fantastic looking BMW has nothing he can do, as what is that? That's a McLaren ahead. Yeah, that's a McLaren ahead, which has taken the position here. But yeah, we're on board with the sole Japanese Honda here, and the Honda is Japanese. So yeah, we have the sole Honda here of Babaji, who's behind D-Day, who's behind Turbochoke in the Aston Martin. So it's Axis versus Allied once again, but on the racetrack. And
speaking of Japanese cars, we don't seem to have Simply's Nissan here today.
Well, Simply has switched over to his BMW, so yeah, he has put on
RIP Godzilla. So doesn't look like at least Babaji is representing the Honda, so at least one Japanese car still on the grid. Man, how they have fallen. They used to dominate GT3 and now look at them.
You can see Babaji just on the straight, taking that slipstream all the way into turn 1. I think he's got the speed, and well before turn 1 he's got that covered. Should you be able to keep this line consistently in there, that Honda, if you can master it, it's fantastic in the track. And he's eked out a little bit of a gap, as we can see already. But yeah, a lot of moves into turn 1. We've seen plenty of them. Smart moves, not so smart moves, but really lap 1 turn 1, that was fantastic. I think we saw a good bit of racing, but into turn 2 that just became pandemonium, as we're on board AJ Sam right now, who's in second place. Has AJ Sam stopped yet, or is he extending his first stint?
I think everyone no they except the top 5 they've all pitted. No, there's some in the middle that they haven't pitted. Didn't we just see Dark Knight pitting?
AJ Sam has pitted. AJ Sam and Tegisman have not pitted. I doubt that.
Didn't we just see Dark Knight pitting? I don't know why it shows one stop.
drive-through penalty. He had a DT on his name. So
Okay. We have a DSQ.
The Yashu is disqualified. Yeah.
Oh man, that car looked. I think
They said it looked so good. You don't race and crash. Stay in the pits and let people admire it.
I don't know what he did to earn a DSQ there. So yeah, that's.
It's speeding into the pits probably.
Could be. AJ Sam comes up the traffic, which is getting out of the way to let AJ Sam through. So he's got some traffic up ahead that he want to clear. Yeah.
Yep. So some traffic coming his way here, as we see we're on board AJ Sam. But yeah, you have to be. I mean, I don't know what some drivers who haven't pitted are thinking with the overcut here. I don't know what they're going for. Maybe they're hoping for something to come their way, because this is a track where anything can happen. A lot of action coming here, as we can see. Panda here, who seems to have not good days, but Somik,
he has messed up the pit entry.
Yeah.
Oh no.
He is not going to be happy with that. He's going to be punching himself in the car as they approach there. Let's have a look at what happened here.
Oh no!
He just bumped that Aston Martin.
Why was the Aston stopped there?
Yeah, That
He's
is
just
gonna be
got
a spicy incident review for sure for the stewards. So yeah, that's not somewhere where you expect a car to be completely coming to a halt. I mean, yes, we did say the drivers be cautious, but you don't need to be that slow through there. So
It wasn't even before the line. It was way before the pit entry line. So he wasn't just expecting him to be there.
Yep.
But yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's racing. It happens.
In cars and BMWs, you would usually expect a BMW driver making a mistake, but in this case, it's an Aston Martin, so that's surprising. As we're on board with the Ford Mustang of Tejas 1, he's got a fast moving McLaren and the Panshu coming onto his heels. They're not quite close, but they're not quite far either, as he's trying to get closer to AJ Sam and ensure that he has someone whose slipstream he can catch on to into the last turn, because he knows if he makes any mistake into the last turn into the penultimate corner, he's dead meat as they go on to that straight, because not one, not two, but three cars can pass you in one go there if they've got more traction than you. And that last turn, I personally have made multiple mistakes in that exit, so it's not an easy one to master, and they're in the wet, so you're gonna have to be very careful as they go through that corner. You can see he's being very moderated with his inputs and his turns as he approaches the final few corners here, braking a little bit late, just about enough so that he can get a little bit more gap out from the drivers behind in that Mustang, because the Mustang is not good in these corners, but in the straight it will get a good fillip of power as they push all the way down.
Alright, we look to be having some stabilized gaps right now. I think AJ Sam has gone into the pits, so he's finally decided to come in for his mandatory stop. We still have Tegas1, Moto, Lightning McKing, and yeah, the three who are in the top four yet to serve their pit stops. AJ Sam just gave it his pit stop, and I think we have another DT victim in Ashtray.
Oh no, the sole Mercedes on the grid is running quite well. He's running quite well too, and DT just throws that all away.
Comes in for his stop.
He wasn't one I expected to get a DT. These guys that have done multiple 12, 24-hour endurance races, Moto, Pro P, even you Deepak and Tanish as well, Star Max also. So those are the drivers that they are very familiar with this. And what is
interesting thing that's happening there. Did he miss the pit entry?
Yeah,
missed it.
if you remember Germany 2018, the Grand Prix, Hamilton's engineer
Not
he
the
said
in.
It's a wall.
That's pretty bad. Yeah, that's not how you want your DT to be served. So yeah, that's just gonna add insult to injury for him.
I think he took it quite literally when they said drive through.
Yes, you're all good. Fuzzy
he misunderstood as drive into the wall.
All those jokes aside, they're back on track with Fuzzy end up chasing after Dark Knight. Having a peek on the inside into turn 3, Dark Knight slightly gets to settle. He goes on the inside and makes a run.
Yeah, that's quite good action there as we see clean racing, but yeah, it's good action we're seeing all through this race genuinely. I mean, for Hungaroring it's fantastic action, and in the wet as well. Drivers seem to be keeping their lines. Sure, we've seen a few bumps, but we've seen good racing today, haven't we, Deepak?
Yeah, indeed. I mean, running is racing, so contacts are inevitable. But on the most majority part, seems to have been pretty good. And I see Moto has finally decided to call it a stop, and we can see the pit lane of Tegas1 is the sole car yet to stop being the top 10 position. No, I mean, Dark Knight is the stop, but I think has their pit stops. Yeah,
the overcut. I'm very interested to see how the overcut works here. I am not a very big proponent of it, because at some point your tires are going to fall off a cliff unless you are a fantastic person at preserving them and at some point you'll be pitting out into traffic.
Oh my god, Tanish just overcooks it on the brakes a bit and almost goes off track trying to avoid Kanak.
And he's lost that position there. Yeah, another thing, you've got to be very careful on the brakes. You don't want to be braking too much. As we see Babaji making a move into that corner. Fantastic. He's overtaking.
Oh no, Moto. He's got to stop, go 30.
So what could he have done to get that?
Moto
He's,
continues his
sprayed
love
into the
affair
pit
with
lane.
the pit lane incidents.
He
So,
loves entering the pit lane at 140 when the speed limit is 50. So,
I
as
think
you
that's
go,
his
history
time.
repeats itself.
history repeats itself indeed. I mean, it's a running joke in the community about Moto and his tryst with pit lane incidents, and I guess this is another page in the long chapter of pit lane incidents.
Yeah.
Yeah, going in that compilation for sure. But what do you think? Can he make it back into the top 5, or is it just too hard for him at the moment?
And now there's 18 minutes left. This is like serving a drive-through. I mean, this is basically like doing another pit
Basically
stop.
just one
So,
pit stop extra.
yeah.
Yeah, he's
So
gonna have
I
to
don't
ride
think he has a
back
chance.
to get anywhere close to what position he was in. We've seen so many swaps for the lead right now. We've got Tejas one in the lead. Of course, he hasn't made a stop yet.
He's
Dipanshu's
just in the pit lane,
second.
so yeah, Tegas just decided to come in for a stop, which means Dipanshu reclaims the lead and gets back up front.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see where Tejas one comes out. He'll answer my question on the overcut. If he can keep an eye on him as to what's going on. Of course, what's going on with our top 3? That is Dipanshu, Kanak, and Tanisha. Are they close by? I mean, because Moto's out of the game at the moment. But
Kanak
yeah, it'll
seems
be
to be
interesting to see
closing
how
on
they come.
Kanak, and we just saw last lap he overcooked it with being return B and almost wiped Kanak, but yeah, he seems to be applying as much pressure as he can, staying within the second on the tail of FIFA Kanak and FIFA Kanak, according to our quantity.
Yeah, as we see, Tejas one is I think exiting the pit lane as we speak, and he's come out in 6th if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And he will be within a second of AJ Sam, and he'll get slightly pressure tires. So I think he can get into 5th. 4th will be a bit of a push unless he's very good at his lap, unless he keeps up some consistent lap times to beat Extreme, who's currently lapping at a 53.3. And I think that is doable. So I think he can get a top 4 or a top 5 definitely. But yeah, I think the overcut seems to have worked slightly for him, but I will still bias for the undercut, honestly. That's just my way of taking
Yeah,
a
right
shot.
now FIFA Kanak is the sole Porsche remaining out of the trio of Porsches we had at the beginning of Moto, Panda and Kanak. But right now the blue and yellow Porsche of Kanak is the only one remaining, and that too in the fight for the podium right now under a lot of pressure from Tanish. Tanish doesn't seem to have the speed through the corners, but on the straight is where that BMW really shows its strength. But
Yeah,
the Porsche on the exit is going to be really hard to beat, so he needs to really nail this exit, but it doesn't look like he has. The Porsche has pulled a bit of a gap on him, and as we switch to the battle between the Ford and the Beamer of AJ Sam and Tegis 1, like these two cars, they are so similar in how they handle, but they could not be more different. One is a twin turbo inline 6, the other there's a Mercedes going somewhere off the track. I don't in the background, I don't know what that was, but yeah, one is a 5.4 liter no replacement for displacement V8. The other one is a tiny 3 liter twin turbo inline 6, but somehow they're evenly matched thanks to the rules of BOP. Same goes for these two cars. As I said, the BMW is an inline 6, but the Porsche, most manufacturers, they put the engine in the front or in the middle. Porsche is like, nah, we'll put it at the back, and that gives the Porsche insane rotation through these corners. Like you turn the wheel, the car just sticks no matter what you do, and you might have to fight it a bit in the corners. I mean the exit. And yeah, but if you can manage that, this car rewards you immensely well. As you can see, Kanak goes defensive. Tanish tries to go around the outside, but he can't make it stick. Thinking of the switchback, but no, that Porsche is putting down that power very well. And Tanish, if you can see, he's trying to switch back almost every corner, but Kanak is covering him off really well. And there you go again. Kanak always knows that he's going to do it. Like he's covering off every switchback that Tanish is trying to do. But this time Tanish looks to be a bit closer. Will he try the dive bomb? It's very risky, but I don't think he can. He thinks of it, but he knows that it's too far-fetched of a move. But yeah, and yeah.
Interesting stuff going on here. So we've got a battle for second place, a battle for fifth place between AJ Sam and Tegus 1. There is, I think, fourth is out of contention for either of them at this moment as the gap continues to grow. And Lightning McKing along with Panda, who's fallen down to 9th. So we've got three interesting battles going on here. We've just had the fastest lap of put up by pro player, which is a 53, and last lap was a 52.1. So he's performing well. FIFA Connect did a 52 flat as well, but yeah, we had a 51.7, I think, put in by by Tanish.
Hang on a second. Am I seeing this correct? Did Ashray get another DT?
Yes, that is another DT. That's the second one so far.
He has 2 DTs and he crashed. The memes don't seem to stop.
And Moto just seemed to have gone out of session. I just saw yellow next to his name and started vanished.
Yeah, that is the Moto tax. If he's not in the top 5, he's like, alright, I'm head out of here. And both of them sliding around that fast right-hander. But they both seem to have it in control. I think Propi is too far ahead for them to, pick a fight with, right?
Way far ahead of them. He's got a
It's almost 10 seconds, yeah.
Yeah, it's almost 10 seconds, and he's consistently lapping in the 51. He's just put up a 51.9, so he's lapping quite well at this point, and he's just about keeping just enough of a gap that he can stay in the lead and not very close. So I think he's sealed his race win at this point, so I don't think we have to question him unless he also has one of the moments, which I don't think he will. Dipanshu is a fairly good racer in that point. But yeah, it's interesting action here as we are on board FIFA Kanak, Tanish.
Side by side into turn 2, Tanish around the outside. Oh no! Tanish cuts across and he himself goes off into the wall. That is severe damage for the BMW. That is extreme promoted into P3. I don't know why he moved over like that. I don't know what he was trying to do, but
I thought he was gonna get away with it, but he did not. He just careered off in, and yeah, I don't know if he can. I think he's got some damage, and I don't think he can recover.
That is the end of this race for Tanish at least.
He should have gone back to the pits. I guess there must have been terminal suspension damage, so he is out for the count.
Did Kanak hit the wall? I don't know if Kanak hit the wall or just went on the grass.
Yeah, he just about scratched his left profile there, but yeah, he went onto the grass. But yeah, the bigger impact was with our other driver, with our BMW, that's Tanish. Who is
extreme smacking his lips, looking at that free position gain. I think, will this be his first podium?
I think he's already had a podium in Watkins Glen, so he seems to be coming up to fray when it comes to double point races. I think Watkins Glen was a similar story with a lot of drivers up ahead, collapsing and stumbling over each other while Extreme maintained his composure and just punched in some big laps. Then finds himself in a very similar position when the second double point race.
Watkins Glen was the one where they all started, Tokyo drifting, right?
Yep, that is indeed the one.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that one. And
to the penultimate corner here, we're on board with Take is 1 in the Mustang. I think he's gonna pull a move into 1 if he can just stay just in that pin code of the BMW ahead, which I think he will be able to. He's got a good exit through here. He'll get that straight line speed, and into 1 I think he will step onto the podium as we speak. No, he will be going into 4th place. My bad for that. But I don't think he seems to be making any headway here at all. So he's not gonna try and send something, but he is getting close there, quite close. And can he make something coming into turn 2? I don't think so. He's not got enough power. Neither has he got enough space in there so that he can make a move. But he's gonna try and stay close because they've got 9 minutes in the race, and he just is trying to stay close to that car as much as possible and launch an attack wherever he can. But yeah, it doesn't seem to be looking like a typical turn 1 move as I thought so. So he's got a little while to go. And looking at the data, we have our leaders move up to 12 seconds. The gap to leader is 12 seconds from FIFA Kanak, so that is his race essentially confirmed. Pipa Kanak's just done a very poor lap with a 53.9 as I can see, and Pro Player has done, and Dipanshu's done a 51.2, which is very good as well. And yeah, we've got AJ Sam and Tegiswan lapping more or less within the same 10th of a time. So what matters is how they can place their cars as they go on. But yeah, will be interesting to see how this moves on. I think we had the BMW who crashed. I think they DNF. I think they left the session.
Yep,
Yeah, that was
had
Tanish.
called it quits. So yeah, I think he should have just carried on and finished, because this race he classifies finish, he gets points. But yeah, so Moto and Tanish think they've had enough and calling it a day. But yeah, that's unfortunate because they just had to cross the line and they are eligible for points.
And as you can see here, this is the battle of the... Okay, it's not the final podium. It is the battle for P4. Unless one of them ahead makes a mistake. And Panda and Babaji, the Porsche and the Acura, the Honda, is going at it hard. Did Baba just make a move on Panda?
No, I
Or
think
was it the other way around?
Panda had fallen down the order and he's trying to make his way back up, and Baba is just sending a car up ahead, who is giving a tough fight to Panda with that NSX. So yeah.
Yeah, and I was just looking at the data. I think you were right. I think if Tanish had just tried to steer out, I think he would have come out in just about 8th or 7th place, and optimistically he might have even come out in the top 6. So he would have definitely got a good dollop of points. But yeah, I guess he just said, this is enough. I'm leaving. I'm out, and he decided to give a few extra points to AJ Sam and Tegiswan. Both of whom I thought were out of contention for 4th place, but if something goes their way, I think they might even snatch a podium. Who knows that? Well, this is racing.
Yeah. Oh, there's a BMW going backwards in a very dangerous spot on the track. It's right at the turn 4 after the high-speed corner. I hope he rejoins. Oh no, that is a very bad rejoin on the apex. It is incredibly difficult to keep this car on the grass. Yeah, there is literally no traction there.
I think he's trying to audition for the ballerina group by the looks of his turns.
Well, this pair is still going at it. AJ Sam hanging on, defying expectations against the Mustang straight line speed. The BMW just having enough on the straight line to defy the move for the Mustang of Tegiswan. Once again, you can see that AJ Sam takes a wider V9, providing him a very good exit. You can see the gap he pulls out visibly on the exit. So I guess that is just keeping him alive for now. So he's gonna have to be very careful not to do any mistakes in the penultimate on the final corner, because at that point it's gonna be easy to keep the Mustang. But right now, AJ seems to have the measure of things.
Yeah, the Mustang has quite a bit of an advantage over the other cars on the grid, but not against the BMW, because the BMW, as we know, is very rapid in a straight line. So it's giving the Mustang a fight, a good fight.
Yup, and it's a very interesting fight. They're fighting fair, they're fighting clean, and they have both been putting in some good laps. They've been staying fairly clean as we go on. There's a little bit of action here. Again, between the both of them, I don't think this is the place you should try anything. But I think, is he going to try a move? I think he is. But I don't think you should do one here. You can send it, but I think he decided to take a little bit. But oh yeah, I think he's very close to a DD. Oh my god, and he's made that move. Just reminds me of Verstappen against Stroll in the Hungarian Grand Prix this year. Very daring and very unconventional place to take a move. So good of our Mustang here. He's just moved up into 4th ahead of AJ Sam, and I think he'll be very happy with how he made that.
Yep, it was a typical case of scaring your opponent off, and basically his positioning there slightly unsettled AJ Sam, which meant that the second curve he took a little too much from the chicane, and his exit was compromised, which was then fielded for Tegiswan to just take the position. So yeah, good racecraft, good intimidation going on there to get that P4 off AJ Sam, and let's see what AJ Sam has to fight back.
Yep, both of these cars are rapid in a straight line, but since they're equally matched, it's very tough to make the move here. You've not got quite a visible advantage on each other, so you'll have to wait. As we said, there might be just 4 minutes left, but don't count anybody out. Looking back at our telemetry, our leader is still holding the gap steady at 12 seconds, and the gap between P2 and P3 is sitting at 15 seconds. And the main fights are going on. We've got Baba and Vashik and Panda quite close together. So we'll have a look at. Can we have a look at that action? I think,
Panda
yeah.
sends it from way far back. Just Baba slightly out. Baba might not be so happy about it because that was just wild send from Panda. Baba's coming back. I think Panda is letting him through, but it does look like he's on younger as well. So yeah.
Yeah, that was close, I think. But yeah, out of respect, I think Panda just gave him a little bit space and said, you know, I'll come back to you later. You have still got 3 minutes to go on this. As we're on board with Amon, and he's got Somik right. No, that's not right.
That is indeed.
Oh yeah, we're on with Amon.
Somik Sane, who is being under pressure from Amon. Somik seems to be once again holding firm. He's just not caving into the pressure, but you can see him just struggling a little bit, holding the car in the middle, trying to block off the lines, and he managed to hold him off for now.
Yeah, he's been very smart with how he positions the car through this sector, and it's easier if you position the car right here. You'll actually make a little bit of a more gap than you give up here.
And behind them, Baba and Panda are catching up to this battle soon, so they're gonna have to, you know, use the blue flags to their advantage. Maybe let him go, and maybe a Fury.
Yep, Amon has the chance to do the smart play here. Let the cars through, and then utilize the blue flag when the car up ahead. Baba hesitates a little bit to make the move done, but yeah, this is really spicy. We have two battles at different laps going through. Amon goes off a little wide. Baba has the inside, which means that Amon has now had to concede for Panda as well. Oh, never mind.
Oh, and Panda takes out Panda takes out Amon and also gets a lot of damage on his car.
So yeah, not a good ending for him there. I genuinely thought he should have conceded it before. You don't hold them all the way to the straight. You don't want to concede it on the straight here. Like, just let them go before. And, you know, like he said, take an advantage.
Panda today, he just seems to have forgotten how to drive a car. I don't know.
Well, I think that
even at the beginning of the race.
I'm not sure exactly. The jury's still out on that last one, because it did look like there was a lot going on there. But of course, that is all for the stewards to dissect. But yeah, it really did foil the battle of both the cars happening on screen. So now that has put a gap between Baba and Panda and ruined that battle that's going on between Somik and Amon as well. So yeah, that's two battles ended in one.
Neither is on the final lap.
Yeah.
Come on to the final minute of the race. How is Teg and AJ? How are Teg and AJ doing? Is there any action going on between them? I don't think they're quite close. They're like, they have a 2-second gap, but yeah, everybody has a fair bit of a gap right now. Nobody's quite close. It's been a really interesting race. A lot of action, lot of moves, unconventional moves as we still going on between Somik and Sahiru here. They're just trying to make a move. Are they going to recreate what Teg did on AJ? Oh, is Adi going to try it? He's just trying to intimidate Somik, but that is not going to work. I'm not falling for that here right now. You've got 30 seconds left in the race, and they're still pushing to the absolute limit, trying to get whatever opportunity they can to overtake. But for now, we will have a winning McLaren cross the line. Dipanshu, who has had a fantastic race so far. He has led this race. He has driven smartly, and
there's a big
and who is that?
concertina effect there. Guys, I don't know if you noticed, but somehow Panda has caught back up to Babaji. Did Babaji slow down for him, or?
No, there still seems to be 2 seconds gap, so I don't think he's caught up yet.
It was much bigger than that.
He was coming through the final sector. He has made a very dominant drive through today.
Yeah, he's driven like a madman through there, and he's been a fantastic driver as he will cross the line, and we can go on board him for his final turn in. But here we've still got some action going on here into turn 1. Can something be done? Round the outside. Is he going to look for the inside line here, getting some power in? Doesn't seem to be the case. But turn 2, as we see Dipanshu crossing the line and taking the victory. It has been a fantastic drive from him into turn 2. They're just absolutely touching bumpers here, but no move, no place to concede here whatsoever. Can something be done here? As we have had our winner cross line, and action still going on in the race, so no end to action whatsoever. Even if it's just for 16th place, you can just see the passion with which these guys are driving. They're just pushing to the limit, seeing whatever opportunity they can to get ahead of the other. They are not letting go. They're gonna fight till the last minute, right? And we're seeing FIFA Kanak go in. He's taken second place. Our podium will be completed by Extreme in the Lamborghini. Take is one in Ford will take fourth place as it stands. And AJ Sam in the BMW will come in, and we've got Sahiru spun off. You have got Hamilton in GT3. Once again, Hamilton tapping your rear strikes.
Yeah, see, he's right there. I think Baba's made a mistake or something.
Must have been in the last lap. Mistake. Baba and Panda coming across the line after putting on a very stern show for all of us watching the race today.
P7 for Panda, not too bad considering what happened. So I think you should be pretty happy with that. But yeah, Extreme, he finally gets his second podium of this season. He's also an IRL driver in the MRF series. He's been racing, so if you want, you can go and support him on those streams there. But yeah, that is it for your Hungarian Grand Prix. And we have Pro P, FIFA Kanak, and Extreme rounding off that podium.
Alright, so why don't you walk us through the race results, Andy?
Let's go through our race results once again. So we have got our winner in Dipanshu, who's had a dominating drive. FIFA Kanak in second place in the Porsche, and our podium completed by taking his second podium of the race of the season. We have Extreme, Tegizwan and AJ Sam continued fighting throughout the race. They finished in 4th and 5th with a bold move between both of them. Panda and Babaji, again, both people who had some fights throughout the race. Babaji seemed to have slowed down and had some issues towards the last few laps, so they finished quite in close contention. Lightning McKing staying clean but still making it into the top 10. Fuzzy Dunlop and Nick complete our top 10. Mayank Baria stays in 11th, Dark Knight in 12th, Fury, Amon, Somik, who had a little bit of issue getting turned around as well. D-Day and Real Fire Tech, we have completed our race. So it was quite interesting. I mean, it was a fun race to be back at, Deepak, for me at least.
Yep, it was indeed a very fun race. We had a lot of action throughout, and I think it's time to get the podium interviews done. So let's try and get our drivers onto the BC.
Yep, let's get our top 3 in. So let's see how that goes. I think we'll hear quite some stories from them because it was quite an eventful race, and I think it'll be not quite an interesting one to hear from our winner because he just dominated the second half entirely, and the first half was a very strong drive from him.
Hello.
We've got our second place driver Extreme, and we have got our winner Dipanshu, who's in for their interviews as well. So we have them on the podium.
Just 1 minute.
Just make sure everyone's audio is on because yeah.
We have got our entire podium in at the moment as we speak, so we have our top 3 in.
Okay, let's start with our third position for the day. So Andy, why don't you take it away with Extreme?
Yeah, so our third position for the day we have Extreme. Extreme, how does it feel to be back on the podium yet again? It was a great race from you.
It feels nice. Like after getting crashed on the first lap, it feels nice.
Right. I can hear that sigh from you. It was a good race from you, very strong. After that first lap, how did you build back once again? What was going through your mind?
Well, I just drove till I wasn't able to overtake the guy in front of me. Then I just pated. Then it was a lonely race for me. There was not too much happening. I was in clean air for most of the time. It just when I was P4, I was just seeing the timings, and then Tanish crashed. Yeah, and then he retired. So yeah, from there I moved up to P4 and then P3.
Yeah, that's a great race from you. So keeping it clean and everything. Especially in a race like this, especially after lap 1, that just goes to show for the rest of our drivers and everyone watching that lap 1 does not mean your race is over. You have still got quite a few laps left. You've got the entire race left to go, and you can keep pushing. Yeah, thank you so much, Extreme,
yeah.
for coming back.
Thank you.
You've
Bye-bye.
got something else to go on?
No, that's fine. That's it.
Thank you. It was a
Bye-bye.
great race. Thank you.
All right, moving on from P3, let's go to our P2 of the day. FIFA Kanak, who finishes in P2 with that Porsche. So Kanak, just walk us through your race. It seemed a very chaotic one from up here for us.
Yeah, a lot of stuff happening from the start of college. We didn't really get laps going, and especially in the wets, you need to get multiple laps to build a rhythm. But I was getting hold up a lot, so didn't really have a good quali. And race also was a bit chaotic. I was being stuck behind most of people. And after the pit stop, I think Tanish also changed his tire and maybe fixed damage, so he ended up behind me. So at that point, it was just for me to try to defend as much as possible. And yeah, I think Tanish and we just had slight contact and we just both went to other sides of the road. I luckily managed to save my car, but unfortunately for Tanish, he ended up also.
So talk us through that incident, like what happened. Was it like Tanish was moving over? Like did he had a chance to check the replay?
I didn't really check the replay, but from my POV, it's like basically after turn 1, there's a little kink on the right. So I was just trying to stay in the middle of the track, go where the track take me, and I was trying to move right, and I think Tanish was trying to squeeze me at the left side. So it was just 2 into 1 doesn't go. And with this contact model, we got thrown off on both sides of the track.
Yep, that wasn't really an unfortunate end to Tanish's podium charge, but well, on the bright side, it did put you up to P2. So yeah, congratulations on that. So yeah, a strong result again.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, moving on. We are moving on to the P1 for the day. Dipanshu has had a very spirited drive, a transformed driver for the day. So Charlotte, why don't you take this away? Okay, looks like Charlotte is not available. So let's get on with the proceedings. So yeah, Dipanshu, talk us through your race. We did see you were getting a bit feisty from the start. Things got a little too heated up between Panda, and you did say you're going to be very feisty in coming rounds. So yeah, talk us through how has your changed approach worked out for you?
Not really well, because I think my feistiness transformed into Panda also being feisty. So we were just, side swiping. I don't know who was side swiping whom through corners. But somehow after a point, I could overtake him because I was losing a lot of time behind him. And once I overtook him, I knew that I had the pace to at least match Tanish. So once I overtook him, I think Moto, he did something in the final corner which opened up the corner for me, so I got that position. And after that, it was just me chasing Tanish. But yeah, I noticed that I was not able to catch up to him. I would catch up and then lose because of blue flagged cars. So because of the back markers, I was losing position. Even he was losing time. So I was like, better than that, let's try a pit, because that's the only way that maybe I can come out ahead of him. Because once I come out ahead of him, I know that we both have the same pace, so I can defend. So that's what I did. I pitted way early. I think with 20 minutes only done in the race, I pitted and I decided not to change tire, just in the hopes that Tanish also decides not to change tire. And just in the hopes that Tanish decides to change tire and I will get the jump on him. And that's what happened. I think Tanish pitted and then I think he changed tire, and I think he didn't had the best of his pit stop because he came out 12 seconds behind me. And after that, it was just a boring race, just driving around, talking with Kanak. Kanak was giving a live demonstration of what is going on between him and Tanish, so I was just enjoying that.
Right, looks like you had a bit of an eventful race and then a bit of a Sunday drive. But yeah, that was a very dominating drive, and congratulations on your P1. I think that's a very strong result that has been deserving of you for a long while. It's been debating you, but I think finally you got the result you wanted. So yeah, congratulations on that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the day. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and do tune in tomorrow. We've got FN25 league round happening tomorrow at 8 p.m. and we are racing in Qatar. So yeah, definitely a very high speed track, possibility for some good racing action. So don't forget to tune in tomorrow. And of course, we cannot thank enough our sponsors, Racesims, for providing us with the server. So if you are in the market for some high-end racing equipment, please do check out racesims.in. They got a good collection of stuff, and they're also an exclusive dealer for Conspit. So yeah, have a look, have a check out, and yeah, I guess that's it from me. And it's me, Madhav, Andy, and all the podium finishers signing off. Have a great weekend, and see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.